Well, AJ is among the living. Hallelujah.
The thing is, the cops saw it, so they didn't even pull it.
Welcome back to the channel. This is Call Me Busby. We're back with another Greenleaf review. This is episode 2, season 5, the second day. So we start out with Jacob. He's at the storage unit, at Mac's storage unit, looking through it. He didn't really find any, documentations. He's looking for the original will, but so he didn't find that. But he ended up taking with him a fishing rod and the little container that you put the bait in and all of that stuff, and your hooks and all of that little thing. He ended up taking that with him. Then we see AJ. Well, no, we don't see AJ. We find out that AJ is stable at the hospital. Grace, of course, wants to see him. The lady's like, well, maybe you should just go home because, once he, wakes up, we have to take him to get a psych eval and all of that. So it's going to be a while before you can visit with him. So just go home and get some rest. Then, the Lady May, she's still fasting. She's at home, not eating, of course. And Bishop is just like, so like, when do you plan on eating again? And she's just like, listen, when the Lord tells me it's time for me to just start eating again, that's when I'm going to eat. Until then, I'm fasting and I'm praying and I'm trusting and believing that I'm going to hear from the Lord soon. But of course, Bishop wants to, now that things have happened with AJ, are we going to postpone the wedding? Like, what are we doing about our wedding that we were supposed to have? And she's like, well, not with AJ, in the hospital. Like, we can't have this wedding now. And Grace comes in. Grace and Sophia, they get home from the hospital. And Sophia is, of course, tired because I'm sure she's been there all night. So she goes straight to her room. Grace, on the other hand, is sitting there with them, and she ends up giving them the keys to Mavis's club, So she's like, y'all can go take a look at it. If you like it, you can have it. Because it was Grace's, it was given to Grace from Mavis, I guess, to keep the club running or whatever, or open it back up, or to do whatever it was that she was going to do with it. And Bishop thinks that it's a good idea to turn that into the church, since they're trying to start fresh or whatever. Charity, she walks in, and she comes in, and she's, asking about AJ. How's AJ doing? And Grace is like, he's fine. That's it. He's fine. That's all you need to know, Judas. He good. Don't you worry about anything else. You don't need no details. You don't need nothing besides he's fine. No thanks to you. So Charity, of course, is still feeling like, dang, y'all still like, so how long this gonna last? She's obviously, and she's actually like got the nerve to be surprised by Grace's response to her. Like, you was gonna get her son arrested. Like, you done lost the church. You done been involved with this H&H stuff. You all in the mess, but you feel like everybody should just get over it. Cause you ain't thinking about it no more. You ready to come back around. You want your family back because Phil DeMars, threw you to the wayside. So now it's, I want my family. Well, you're gonna have to wait because them people still upset. Lady May, she tells her, she's like, well, you did almost get her son arrested, and not to mention you lost the church. She's still very, very bitter about that. Very upset with Charity. So she's like, girl, I don't care about your woe is me. You brought all of this on yourself. I don't blame Grace for paying you dust. And I'm paying you dust too. And And she ends up just walking out. I'm going to work where people like me. Girl, they don't like you there either. They don't like you at work either. Bishop sits down with Lady Mae, he's just like, okay, so can we at least set a date? And she just blurts out Flag Day. Okay, Flag Day it is. Then Carissa and Zora, they're in their living quarters folding clothes. And Zora's like, why are we doing this? Like, ain't somebody else supposed to be folding these clothes? And Carissa's just like, well, ask your grandmother. And listen, don't ask grandma nothing. That lady ain't folding y'all clothes because that lady don't work for y'all no more. You there, but trust and believe, Lady Mae ain't forgot. She has not forgotten all of what Carissa has done in the past. She ain't forgotten that that she had to pop Carissa upside her mouth for talking crazy. She ain't forgot. And so, yeah, you living here, but whatever. My staff don't work for you. Don't be thinking that they're going to be coming around there cleaning and folding clothes. I'm going to make you as uncomfortable as I possibly can because Lady Mae don't see it for Carissa. And I think half of America watching this show don't see it for Carissa because I don't. And in this episode specifically, I was thinking to myself, I hate her. I don't hate people. But that Carissa, I want something to happen to her. Like something like, I don't know, like something has to happen. She has to realize she ain't got it like she thinks she got it. But anyway, let me not jump the gun. They're in there folding clothes and Carissa tells Zora, if you dealing with something like that, because she's thinking about AJ, if you dealing with those types of issues, you depressed, whatever it is, you always got somebody to talk to. You can talk to me. You can come to me. And Zora's like, whatever, Mom. She's always giving her mama too much attitude. Carissa, while she's folding the clothes, she picks up this little piece of lingerie and she's like, now I know these don't belong to you. And Zora's like, oh no, those are Nikki's. Then she starts telling, she starts telling Carissa about Nikki and Dante and this love triangle between the two of them and Sophia and all of this mess that's going on surrounding Nikki and Dante. And she fills her in on that a little bit. Then Jacob comes home and he comes in there and he tells Carissa, no, the meeting is coming up because he been out all morning. And Zora's like, where you been all morning? He's like, wait a minute. Watch that. You don't ask me questions about my whereabouts. I ask you questions about where you've been, who you've been with, how long you've been out. You don't ask Daddy them questions. And Zora's, of course, like, oh, whatever. Okay. And she tells him, that the meeting is in a half an hour or something like that. He's like, okay. And she's like, oh, what's the meeting for? What's the meeting? What meeting? Hello, I'm here. What meeting? And they still ignoring her because she's a child and she needs to mind her business, which she does. Although she's a teenage child, like 17, it's still none of your business what's going on in your mother and father's marriage. That's none of your concern. But she's like, oh, y'all going to couples therapy? Y'all back in therapy? I mean, it's no shame if you are. And Carissa's just like, girl, fold them clothes. Mind your business and fold the clothes. Zora's still trying to figure out what this meeting is about, what it is, the severity of it, and all of that. But she lets it go. Then Darius, he calls Grace, and Grace, of course, tells him about, what happened with AJ. And Darius is like, do you need anything? I'll come over there. And because he did need her help with something. He has a lead on the whole what's Bob really doing in Memphis case. And he, has some information for her and wanted her to take a ride with him. And she's cool with doing so. She's just like, well, I can't see AJ right now anyway, so I might as well, hang out with you for a little while, help you out until I, can get back to the hospital to see AJ. And she asked Darius to pick her up, of course, and so he does. Then they pop up on one of the pastors, Cal. I forgot his last name, but Cal. He's one of the pastors that's in the merger. And he tells them, Bob told them that, basically a cease and desist. Don't be talking about nothing. Don't say nothing to the press, to Darius, to Grace, to nobody about anything we have going on. Your mouth is shut on all of that. And so he couldn't give him nothing. And she's like, I thought you wasn't gonna be a part of this. And he's like, I have to go. I would like it if you guys don't come back. Have a good day. And he's sending them on their way. So they're standing there puzzled, like, well, what the heck? What you mean he done told you not to talk to us? For what? What's this about? Then when, as they're leaving, Grace, she has to go back to the hospital and meet Noah. And of course that is alarming to Darius, because he's like, Noah, y'all gonna get back together? Like, what's this about? Well, what does his wife think about all of this, or his fiance? And she's like, oh, she ain't in the picture anymore. No, not fiance. They were married by now. She ain't in the picture no more. They getting a divorce. And so I guess he's feeling like, there's a chance that y'all could rekindle and be a whole happy family. What does this mean for us? Because he feels like, okay, now Grace is back in my life. We might be able to, and so does Grace, because Grace loves Darius. Noah, that's over. That's done with. But I don't think that Noah feels like that. Noah feels like now that he and Isabella are not an item, that he and Grace can go ahead and be a family with AJ. And Grace is like, pump your brakes. Pump your brakes. Let me pump my brakes. I'm going out of sync. But she does, she reassures him, it's nothing like that. We co-parenting. Don't even worry about it. Sophia calls Dante and leaves this thirsty voicemail. I was just calling to see how things went between you and Nikki. Why, Sophia? Why? Just yesterday you said you didn't care, you understood, you were hurt, by the fact that, whatever was going to happen between you two is over with, because he's exploring, other things with his ex. So you did that. You the one told him to figure it out, so he figuring it out. Now you calling, leaving voicemails about wanting to see him, and can he just call you back? And girl, no. And see, you need to be talking to your mama or Zora, because Zora would have told her what's up. Zora has been stupid over a boy in the past, but I'm pretty sure Zora would have, let her know, girl, no, we don't do that. We're not going to beg for an audience after he's shown you he is rekindling with this girl. So why are you calling him, leaving voicemails and thinking that he's, like he owes you an explanation? That was the explanation yesterday, girl, when he told you he's working it out with her. That meant y'all are done. Anyway, May and Bishop, they go to look at Mavis's old club, and they walking around the building, and of course she's like, we're gonna have to, it's the smell in here, like I feel like I'm about to bust in the flames just coming in here in this den of iniquity. And Bishop is walking around, admiring all of the stuff on all of the pictures, and just remembering what that place was and what it meant to the community. And all of the different acts that have been there, they still up on the wall. Bishop just going down memory lane, and May is like, we pulling up everything, because ain't no telling what's under it, what bodies is under here. It ain't no telling what's up in here. We're gonna have to purge the whole place, burn it down, gut it out, sage it, smudge it, do all of that, because we gonna need it if we thinking about building a church on this land. And Bishop is cool with it. He's just like, okay, whatever, we can do that. And May is like, well, no, you gotta let my sister know first. We gonna have to let her know what's going down. And he agrees, but they're seriously thinking about that place. And May is like, unless we gonna gut it, unless we gonna tear it completely down and build it all up again and starting fresh, brand new, I'm out. So that's that. Charity, she's at work, and she goes to her office, and it's being painted this sounding pink color. And she's like, what in the world? What's all this? This is my office. She storms, well, the assistant's like, well, it's being painted, Judy said, this is Judy's idea. Judy picked the color. And she's like, this is my office. Mr. DeMars said no. Mr. DeMars said that this is Judy's office now. Sorry. So of course she immediately goes in there with Phil like, you gave my office away? Like what? And he's like, well, that office is, reserved for the first lady. No. Now she ain't finna, this is just a power play. Like, you letting her purposely do stuff like why you letting her do this kind of stuff? Cause he has to, cause he's, under Bob's thumb. Charity, but she was upset about that thing because she knocked everything off his desk on her way out, storming. I mean, knocked it all over. I was here for that. Proud of Charity for that. She should have poured it. She should have drank them and everything. Cause he deserves it. He got a lot of nerve. Grace, she gets to the hospital to meet Noah, and he greet her with this big hug, and she's looking like, hey. We switch, and now we're over there with Carissa and Jacob. They're meeting with the lawyer, and the lawyer is a bitch, like a B word, okay, a B word for no reason at all. She's just I don't know, being that bullheaded lawyer for what? I don't know, because Jacob isn't even putting up a fight. It's not like he's being difficult, and you have to be, oh, this is what we want. This is what we're asking. This is what you're going to give. This is what you're going to do. That's how that lawyer was. And Carissa just sitting there. Yeah, I want full custody. Because you need to get a job. You need to be able to get a job and keep a job, going by your past. And he's looking at her like, oh, my past. My past. And we're here because you cheated on him. Now, it's not his fault that you stayed 20 years and accepted the cheating for years and years and years. Don't be mad when the man, because most men are like this. Most men are like this. Women, we're going to put up with the cheating as long as we can. Men, no tolerance at all for infidelity. Most men, no tolerance. They will leave your ass. And especially in a marriage. And with that situation, he was done. Like, here I am trying my hardest to not, go there with another woman, because he really tried. He even, blocked that whole Tasha Skanks thing when Tasha, Skanks, whatever their last name was, the folks at the other church, when she was basically throwing herself at him, Jacob, he didn't completely, block it, but he let it be known, I'm not cheating on my wife. I love my wife. I'm trying to work this out with my wife. I'm not doing this with you. But, and so he got to a point where he was mature enough to, walk away from those types of temptations. And here you are, lady, laying it low and spreading it wide with Mr. Latina. And he just working you and playing you. He worked for H&H. But anyway, they're in the meeting with the lawyer. He ain't putting up a fight, but he is, like, no, at least we're going to do shared custody here. You're not having no primary custody of my child. Because, not Zora. She lives on her own. Well, she lives on the property, but she still lives by herself in that little bungalow. And Winky, is the youngest. He's still, I don't know how old he's, like 7. I don't know, but he's still a little boy. Still needs some, he needs a parent somewhere watching him. So he wants shared custody and not primary custody for her. But he signs it. So I don't know if he was signing it and she got what she wanted, or I don't know. But he did end up signing the documents that was, presented to him. Grace and Noah, they're, chit-chatting or whatever. They just left the hospital. Or no, they're in the hospital. And he's trying to make nice. And he's talking about, sticking around because she's like, where you staying? And he said he's staying with his mama. And she asked him about Isabel, and of course he's like, that's over and done with. I mean, of course I wanted to work on our marriage. I wanted it to work, but then again, it was like, what am I fighting for? Because I don't even really want this. So that's where he is with that, and now he's ready to explore a family with Grace and AJ. And Grace is still, she's kind of got walls up like, this is not what we doing. This is not what we doing. The doctor comes out and tells them basically, and she had a smile on her face. She's weird. I was like, ma'am, I don't think you get this. I don't think you get this acting thing. What you're saying to them, you should not have a smirk or smile on your face. She was just like, yeah, he doesn't really want to see you. Yeah, sometimes, I mean, you guys just, it's really not up to you, but he doesn't want to see you. He doesn't want to see you either. It's like, why do you have this big ass smile on your face, woman? You telling these folks that they can't see their son who just tried to commit suicide, and you got a whole smile on your face like it was funny that he don't want to see them. Like she was privy to some. Oh, and I meant to mention this. The first time that they were at the hospital and the doctor came out, and let them know that he's stable and all of that. She asked Grace if Grace had been cut with anything, if Grace, had any open wounds, or did she get any blood on it? Like she asked her a specific question, like basically, was you exposed to his blood? Because what I'm thinking AJ has AIDS or HIV. Which is the purpose of him having all of those medications and taking all of those meds, and that's pretty plausible, especially after the doctor asking, did you get cut? Did you get any blood on you? And then she wanted to know if Sophia was the girlfriend. So yeah, I'm thinking that AJ might have a package, and this is where we are with that, and this is why he's so depressed and so I don't know, but we'll find out. That's just my speculation because of the doctor's line of questioning. But anyway, the doctor told him, basically he don't want to see y'all. He's in a very what'd she say? Shame. He's in a shame spell. So they have to take that for what it is and go on about their business. Back at the bungalow, Zora is putting the clothes away, and Sophia comes by, and she's like, can I ask you a favor? And Zora's like, girl, we not cool like that. What you want? And she says, the playlist that you made for me, can I have it? I want to put it on a little flash drive and give it to AJ. And she's like, don't you have the songs? See, what had happened was they kind of got deleted. She deleted it, of course, after that fight. She's like, oh, you remember that shirt you let me borrow from H&M? Oh, I gave that to Goodwill, so there. We're even. And then she asked her, you still messing around with Dante? And Sophia's like, girl, what does that matter? Zora's like, it matters. And she's like, listen now, I just lost my virginity to a dude that 3 days later got back with his ex. Like, please cut me some slack. And Zora's like, yo, virginity? So you and Roberto never? No. Ooh, we should talk more. Yeah, we should. So where's the laptop, cousin? And Zora's like, laptop in there. Got you, sis. You ain't even have to ask. We family. I can't tell you no. And she leaves. So they're back on, okay terms. I don't know, because Sophia's still very thirsty for Dante, and I don't want her getting into a role where, okay, you're purposely now trying to step on toes and break this up. Because if a man tells you, okay, I'm trying to work it out with my ex, 'cause that's happened to me before. I myself was in a situation where I was single and I was I wouldn't even say we were dating. I liked him and he liked me, and we were cool, kicking it, hanging out, that sort of thing. Never had no form of intimacy, not a kiss, not a nothing, not a smash, not a nothing like that. We were cool, but I could see it going somewhere. Halfway through, not even halfway through, but some weeks pass, and then it's like, oh, I'm gonna get back with my ex, and it's like, Well, darn. Good thing I didn't give you my snacks. Good thing I didn't go, too far with this guy because my feelings would have been hurt too. So I feel Sophia, but I would have been wrong to continuously pursue that, knowing he's getting back with his ex. So I hope Sophia doesn't do anything like that. Charity and Phil, they talking in his office, and he's upset because he put his trust in a contractor, put his trust in somebody to get something done. They have to have a ramp at the new location, and it's not there, and it's a big trouble. And Charity just sitting back like, ain't that ironic? Now you get to see what it's like to work with you. Then Judy come walking in, kissing all on Phil, trying to rub it in her face. And she asked, so what's going on? What's happening? And, they let her know, fill her in on what's going on. Oh, you'd be perfect for that. I've seen the way you wrangle that music in that music ministry, that choir. I see the way you do it. You're the perfect person for that. And Phil is like, can you go around there and talk to the contractor? And so she's like, okay, whatever, fine. And so she started rolling up the blueprint. And Judy, oh, you roll that up so perfect. Look how it's even on both sides. How do you do that? I wanted to roll it up and hit her over the head with it. Because just shut up. Just shut up, Judy. Please. Being so condescending. Charity talking about something. I'll send you the link. But on Judy's way out of the office, Charity's like, girl, listen. You know that he's only marrying you because your daddy is making him. He's in love with me. And Judy, she drops a scripture on her, basically a scripture that says to pay people dust and when somebody insults you to just walk away. And so that's what she does, gives Phil another kiss and, walks on out. And Charity's like, you got you a good, wholesome Christian woman there, don't you, Pastor? Good day. I wouldn't even want him no more. You don't have no integrity. So I wouldn't even want you no more. So I don't see why if Charity is putting up a fight for him in any way, she shouldn't be. He ain't worth the fight. Bishop, he calls Mavis. Mavis is in France. She got a whole new club out there and her whole new boom boom room out there. And she calls. This French woman answers the phone and she ain't speaking English, or she doesn't speak English well. And Bishop is like, can I speak to Mavis? And oh, Mavis. So she goes to go get Mavis. And she's like, tell her it's James calling. And then all of a sudden we hear the automated music, like when you're put on hold, when a business puts you on hold and you hear their elevator music. That's what happened. And Bishop just hung up because I guess she knew it was him and didn't want to take his call, or it never got to her that, she had a phone call. Either way, Bishop hung up. Grace and Noah leaving the hospital, and he's just gung-ho about sticking around, being a family and all of that. And Grace is just like, listen, you cannot just waltz back in here into the mix and think that we're gonna pick up as a family. Like, I've been here 3 years and don't feel, attached, or I don't feel, like I'm fully a part of my own family, let alone this one right here that I just found out about. Or she knew she had a baby, but that you just found out about. And he's just like, but that's you. That's what you do. So he insulted her, and she told him to take it back. And he's like, you mad? Yes, take it back. So he's like, I'm sorry. I apologize. I take it back. My bad. Same time tomorrow. So yeah, I hope that it's clear and she done drew the line in the sand. I don't want it with you like that. We gonna co-parent, and that's all we gonna do. Don't be thinking that we gonna talk about us. What about us? Us is over. Us was over when you left and married Isabel. So that's that. Y'all, it's like 10 pages of notes on this show. This show a lot, but it's so good. Grace is at home sitting on her steps, and Lady Mae walks up. She's been thinking about Faith. She went to go visit Faith's grave, and they're just talking. She's comforting Grace because she understands. Although Grace has an opportunity to, do things differently and to make some changes and to, she has a second chance with her child, and May didn't. But she's there for her. Charity come pulling up. Trying to, make nice, and they both looking at her like, no. How long are you guys going? Like, how long do I have to do this with you guys? Like, I'm trying. Like, I don't have anybody. Blah, 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 blah. Grace just gets up and walks back in the house, ignoring her. And May is like, her son just tried to commit suicide. I'm just coming off from visiting Faye, and you running around talking about who don't like you and who ain't liking you for the moment, and nobody's talking to you. Child, you don't know what real problems are. And so she just walk off and leave Charity to think about that. Charity gonna say maybe she just gonna leave. I'll leave. I'll take Noah and I'll just leave. Or Nathan, I think that's her son's name. I'll take Nathan and I'll just leave. Okay, girl, whatever. Do your thing. But May leave her standing there looking cheap. Zora, she's watching her little brother. She pacing the floors, and then Jacob and Carissa get back, and she's just like, "Where the heck y'all been?" They like, "Well, now why you up here watching Winky? Like, where is the maid? The maid giving Nathan a bath. So here I am. What's going on? Is this a divorce? Are y'all getting a divorce? You getting a divorce, aren't you? You done started cheating again, huh?" And he's like, "Whoa, you better watch your tone with me." And Zora, of course, storms off. "Thanks for telling me, guys. Thanks for the heads up." She storm out. Jacob is like, "Now I know you're not just gonna let her believe that it's all me. That's what you gonna do?" That's exactly what she gonna do. Carissa said, "That's exactly what I'm going to do. Because let's not mention the 20 years that I wiped your dirty ass." And he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, let's not mention your slut drugs." And she's talking about, "Jacob, your whole life has been a slut drug." What does that mean? Exactly what it says. No, girl, shut up. That was a weak and whack and late comeback. No, you did not clap back. You failed miserably. Can't stand that, Carissa. And he's like, "I'm going to go tell Zora what's really going on. Do it, and I'm going to bring that will out. I'm busting it out, taking it to the police. If you go in there, try me." And so he's standing there looking like, dang, should I call? Like, she might really do this. Because he's like, how you going to prove it? How you going to not prove it? How you going, like, this is what I have, and I can take it to the police. These are the cards I have. They laid out. Now, you want to play? We can play. So go on in there and tell Zora whatever you want to tell her, but just know I'll be going to the police with this will. And he was just standing there looking, and she gonna say, "That's what I thought. That's what I thought you ain't gonna do." She is, in that moment, if Jacob had to just right here, I wouldn't have been upset. If he had to just, like, Moot gave her one of those in the forehead, I wouldn't have even been mad. And I don't even condone the violence against women, but that woman there provokes you so much. She just pokes and pokes and pokes and says things that are so triggering to a man. She emasculates him anytime she feels like it. And he takes it because he's a cheater. Well, because he was a cheater and she took him back. So I guess he feel like it is what it is. But she is not innocent in any of it. Granted, he was the one stepping outside of their marriage for years. But Carissa ain't innocent. She had a work husband, that work bae over there at the work at the job. She had something going with him because he, was trying to get it back rekindled, and she's like, we can't do that no more. That was seasons ago. But we don't talk about Carissa and her philandering ways. We don't talk about Carissa popping Xannies all the time. And we wonder why Zora snort Ritalin and smoke weed and do whatever else she do. Because of her mama. That daggone Carissa is the most self-righteous individual on this show. I can't stand her. Anyway, Sophia She goes to give Grace the playlist that, to give to AJ. And Charity ends up coming in, and she wants to talk briefly, and she gives Grace an envelope, and Grace is like, "What is this?" And she opens it. It's a poem that I wrote to Eden. I know what you're dealing with. I understand, because Grace reads the whole poem out loud. It's basically a poem from her to her unborn daughter, Eden. Eden was a twin. Nathan had a twin, it was a boy and a girl. And they were able to save Nathan, but Eden, she died at childbirth. So she wrote her a poem. And Grace is like, what this got to do with me? Just like you, to take my situation and make it about you, because I didn't lose a child, Charity. Like, what is this for? I understand what you're dealing with. No, you don't. I lost a child. Girl, it's a difference between your child being stillborn or having a miscarriage. That's a loss, a great loss. It's different, though, than your child taking their own life or attempting to take their own life. That's a whole different type of grief. And Charity felt like her little poem was gonna make her feel better. Granted, Charity it was on her heart to do something good. She was trying to relate to her sister, trying to have a moment with her, especially after her mom told her, she's dealing with a lot. And here you come talking about somebody ain't talking to you. Like, it's bigger fish to fry. And so that was Charity's way of extending the olive branch. And Grace is like, girl, you done turned this whole thing into something about you. Away from me with this. And Charity, you and mom deserve each other. Girl, okay, bye. 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 You can't be mad that these people are still upset with you. You just cannot. Not after the snaky ways, that you exhibited all last season. Get out of here. May, she in the room taking a nap, and then Bishop come in there, and he tells her that it's a goal. They're gonna start working on Mavis's building, tearing it down and building it back up. They're gonna get it going. And she's like, did you ask my sister? And he's like, I ain't need to. This is what it is. now we can set a date for the wedding. And she's looking at him like, James, we already set a date for the wedding. And he's looking like, we did. She's like, yeah, remember? June 14th, Flag Day. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Listen, y'all, when that in that moment, my heart dropped, because it was like, oh, no, please don't let this man be coming down with the dementia or with Alzheimer's or anything like that. Like, Parkinson's was enough. Please don't be taking this man's mind. I can't do it. I ain't gonna be able to take Bishop losing his marbles like that. Like, it's gonna hurt me. It's gonna hurt me. And I see that that's the road we're going down. And May's face said it all. She was looking like, we just talked about that this morning. So he really should have remembered that. And the fact that he didn't remember that, she worried. And so am I. Nikki, she's at Dante's house, and Sophia is still blowing him up. Nikki got the phone, though. So Nikki answered the phone. Hello? Dante? No. Click. That's what you get, Sophia. Please, girl, stop. Just stop. Let that man call you back. She ain't let him call her back yet. She's just steady calling, leaving voicemails. I'm sure she texting, sending DMs. She's just doing a lot. May, she's finally eating again, eating her little pasta. Marisol coming in there. You eating? Girl, let me warm you up something fresh, because that is a week old. And Lady Man's like, watch it, Marisol. Now, you can make you some more pasta all you want, but this right here is mine. This is mine. I ain't ate in days. I don't care that it's a week old. I'm tearing it up. Jacob and Winky, they fishing. And they're not catching anything. So Jacob's like, let me go in here and see if we can find some bait. What can we get? What can we get? So he rummaging through, looking through it, and finds an envelope, pulls it out, opens it up, and it's that lady's original will. So here we go. Here we go with this. And it says Daryl somebody on it. I can't remember the last name, but the name on it, he said the name out loud, so that's going to mean something, I'm assuming. Well, whoever that is. Zora, she storms in on Sophia, and she's like, did you send Dante a picture of your titties? Like, are you sending him nudes? And she's like, whose business is that of yours? And Zora's like, it's everybody's business. And so she shows her that Sophia got leaked nudes, and we already know who leaked them. That damn Nikki, the one that had the phone, so she has to be the one that leaked those nudes. Of course, I'm sure Sophia might not have sent anything recently, although we don't know, but she could have very well looked through his phone and saw that and just leaked it. Nikki, that is, that girl. So now, Zora, girl, you're gonna have to fight, because your new friend leaking your cousin nudes, and you just cannot be on her side after this. Can't possibly take Nikki's side now. Then Cal Weaver is his name. The pastor, Cal Weaver, he calls Grace and says, listen, what I'm about to tell you is off the record. This is just for you. You have to promise me that you are not going to tell anybody about this. This is for you. And all he says is Eatonville Lending. And she's like, what? Eatonville Lending. It was a business. And then basically it's like, don't call back, don't call me no more, and hangs up. So we got to figure out what all of that means, what that has to do with Bob. Bishop, we see him, in his little man cave area with his drink, and he puts on a record. I'm assuming it's one of those artists that he used to watch at Mavis's place. He's just sitting there listening or whatever. Then Grace, she's back at the hospital to go visit AJ, and then it ends out with Jacob. He goes to Tasha's house. Tasha Skanks. It's Skanks. That's their last name. Tasha. He pop up on her. She's like, Jacob? Tasha, I need to find Basie. And she's like, Basie's dead. When? When and how? Okay, and so where's Rochelle? What? I guess we're gonna find out all of that next week, because that's where it ended out. But this was a pretty good episode. My cliffhangers, I got to figure out what's going on with AJ. I'm assuming he has HIV. We got to figure out, hopefully Bishop is not going down the dementia path. Please, Lord, no. Let that just have been just a mistake. He just forgot. I don't know, but I don't want Bishop having that. Hopefully Grace and Darius can work things out, and Noah don't come in between that. It's a lot. It's a lot going on, but I'm here for the ride. That's it, guys. I'm finished. So be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby, and I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.